please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Years ago, I vaguely remember a number of YouTube creators that had incurred the ire of the court of public opinion, having live streams dedicated to them, so that while their subscriber count went down, people would try and see how close they could be, or get, to losing their play button. Some were fairly close to the silver one, and they did in fact lose enough to be under the 100,000, which led to many people saying, you should give back your silver play button. Spoiler, they did not. Because they earned it, everyone. Rarely have I seen someone lose 170,000 subscribers in a month to continue to hemorrhage in the following month, to a degree where I would believe it is possible they could get closer to losing their gold play button by the end of the year, but it's more than likely not going to happen in favor of people just no longer watching their content. In this, of course, we are talking about Iilluminaughtii, who in May lost 170,000 subscribers and this month has lost close to 90. The month isn't over yet, so 100,000 is still possible, and based on the frequency of losing 10,000 subs, also highly likely. It is unlikely to stop anytime soon. Viewership of pretty much all content has dwindled to a level that is essentially 10 times less to what she was getting on these essay-style videos only a few months ago. If you need context as to what's gone on to get to this point, don't worry, I'll link part 1 and part 2 down below. I highly recommend, if you need to know, you watch those first, because we're going to continue the story as if you already know. That way I don't then have to talk about how she even dug the hole in the first place to get to where she was, for the fallout to continue as more creators spoke out and she tries to cease and desist them all, to where we are now, where she is losing everything. This has been handled poorly on every single level possible by Iilluminaughtii. The buck stops at you, the creator. Your decisions are an indicator of the level of ego you have, which can also be argued to be a complete lack of humility. Had you simply fessed up, there was a bigger chance of you getting through this semi-unscathed, with a reputation that would have shown you had a capacity to learn, improve, and be better. But since what you have done has gone on for so many years, I don't believe you have that capacity, akin to that of Sheldon Cooper having emotional range. So the first thing we have to talk about is an email between FPS Diesel and Cruel World Happy Mind, aka Madison, who gave greater detail in that email about what actually happened when, Iilluminaughtii did the podcast thing, dunking on Cruel World Happy Mind after being accused of plagiarism. To an extent, plagiarism. It was very disingenuous of Iilluminaughtii, and there's no way, based on how closely resembling the videos it was, that she didn't see her video or perhaps glean information from it. So Madison said, "Thank you for reaching out to me personally, though I never recorded the call and it was 2 years ago. Those the ones are inaccurate. I was newly pregnant at the time. My interactions with Blair took place extremely sick from the pregnancy. So that was a huge motivator to reach a solution with Blair so that I would have the stress of the drama making my condition worse. I forgot who offered first to do a private call. I believe Blair went on a tweeting rampage of sorts after my initial video calling her out, and was saying things I interpreted as angry things in the heat of the moment about someone she really didn't know. So I thought it would be better solved if we spoke on the phone, since oftentimes tonality can get lost in tweets or messages. We spoke on the phone for 2 hours or so. To be fair, overall it was a good call where Blair wasn't screaming at me or calling me names. Though she went into a lot of information that wasn't really necessary on the call, and I'm not sure why. She told me about the history she had with other content creators who tried to ruin her career, according to her. Said she had 6 other businesses apart from her channel. Consider that foreshadowing. Told me sensitive information about her own health and past health scares. At times it felt like she was trying to mentor me on the call. Sounds like a pissing contest. At times it felt like she wanted me to sympathize with her, and at times she made some vague threatening statements. I remember her specifically telling me that she knew the general location of where I live based off my Instagram posts, saying she would advise me to take those posts down, and also that because a random site wrote an article about me, and this site is basically a pay-for-view site or something like that that it could look like I pay for my audience and that I should send that site legal warnings to get them to take it down. Basically, she would give me advice that had a threatening tone to it. I concluded during that call that it seemed to me like Blair has a tendency to fixate on a few specific people in the commentary world and feel a lot of hate and vitriol towards those people, especially if she felt they wronged her, as she kept mentioning a few commentary creators' names on the call, telling me not to speak with them and keep my distance with them. I decided during my pregnancy I wanted to steer clear of her and her world, so I decided to come to an agreement with her during the call to stop the drama and end any and all interaction I had with her on as good of terms as possible and as quickly as possible. So on the call she said in order to move on she would want what I said about her to be cut from my video and for me and her both to post statements on our channel about reconciliation. I did that, and eventually unlisted the entire drama video altogether because I started to feel bad about the amount of attention it was getting. I didn't want my video to be the sole reason someone hates another creator. At that point, I still wanted to believe that Blair was going to grow as a person, and I was hoping my forgiveness would help her learn to let go and forgive others as well. Now, unfortunately, it seems Blair has not changed. The entire situation was very stressful at the time since I was in a really poor condition and extremely sick from my pregnancy. It made me take a step back and not want to reach out to other creators on YouTube as much since I was so afraid of similar types of drama would start, or they would try to talk about me behind my back. I think toxic people like Blair create a competitive, cutthroat environment in the commentary space on YouTube, when it doesn't need to be like that. I've talked with people like SL, I don't know who that is, Smoky Glower and Muncat, Moneycat, who have been nothing but extremely nice and supportive, and I hope one day the entire commentary community can be like that. I don't know, maybe we can all stop putting up with toxic creators in this space who cultivate a negative environment. I also think the issue of copying is sort of a bizarre issue for commentary creators. When I first started out making videos on YouTube, I was so sensitive about my videos being copied, and looking back, I wasn't looking at things the right way, because everyone has a right to take inspiration from other content, as long as someone isn't copying content word for word or cites their sources. I think it's all part of the commentary life cycle. If creators start policing who is copying what, it could go down a straight road that limits creators' ability to be creative and draw inspiration from others. I think societally, we all know when copying goes too far. Someone says something word for word makes an identical thumbnail, but in the grand scheme of things, general inspiration for others does actually harm another content creator's brand, content, and identity. So I think focusing on it will only tarnish the commentary landscape. A very eloquent and polite way of articulating their perspective. Respectfully done as well. Now, I have held a very firm and consistent belief when it comes to YouTubers, sponsors, and their relationship. Do not go after the sponsors. I am aware some will want to insert, yes, but what if this creator does this? But what if this creator does that? The relationship between sponsors and creators is tentative at the best of times. Some creators do develop an ego because they get a lot of offers. I get offers from the same crap, none of which legit, which is why you never see a sponsor in my videos. Which is a shame really, because I'm broke. Serious like, yo, Gibbs. The point still stands regardless, because it can harm other creators and their relationship with sponsors. It is a form of poisoning the well, a term I've used a lot of late along with reductio ad absurdum, which oddly enough fits here as well. On Twitter, ENVTuber tweeted to Stitch Fix, "Hello Stitch Fix, it has come to my attention that you are sponsored with a YouTuber named Iilluminaughtii. Details are in the videos and the replies, but the TLDR is that she has harassed multiple people with alt accounts, made someone homeless and made fun of his mental health." Stitch Fix replied, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. The actions of this creator do not align with Stitch Fix values. We have stopped all advertising on their platforms. Thank you again for flagging." To add to this, we now insert ExpressVPN, who should also reach out to me. I will promote for money. Hey, I like to reach out about a YouTuber that abuses their employees and is in other scandals. Their name is at Iilluminaughtii. I don't think you should give a sponsor to someone that if there's an email to reach you, I'll be happy to provide evidence and talk with a representative. Reply, I can share that while we worked briefly with this influencer earlier in the year, we are no longer working with them. Now that could be an indicator that they'd already severed ties anyway, because the working relationship had come to a mutual parting, as it were. Or perhaps they saw this early enough and decided, screw you guys, we're out. I've also been led to believe that a candle company that she and her sister ran, called Nox and Vesta, is that it? She is no longer associated with her sister running it instead. In fact, a candle the company makes is named after her dog, called Casper. As I was unable to find any confirmation of this, it's more speculative, okay? So let's swerve and go to Oz Media on Twitter. The Iilluminaughtii sent a physical cease and desist to my dad's address as well, one I haven't lived at in 3 years, which she would know if I still lived in the house we shared. Trying to scare my dad. You're forcing my hand here, something I initially didn't want to do. Reply as if she didn't know you already got it, considering she stalks you guys on Twitter. She seeks nothing but to paint the world red. If Blair were actually trying to get us back, this ain't how to do it. So the final thing we need to discuss comes courtesy of a video via CB2. A video titled Exclusive. Iilluminaughtii finally responded. Reason why is because on a Patreon only server, some messages are only accessible to patrons. They took one for the team, paid the $5 and got access to these messages from Blair. And I thought we'd quickly look at that now. I'll link CB2's channel down below, by the way. They have an entire playlist with a lot of videos covering all of this. I firmly believe in less is more, but my judginess can be buried for a moment in favor of gratitude that somebody got these messages. The first screenshot comes from the 17th of May, so the 27th of June today. We're a little bit, behind. Hey at everyone, I just want to write to say thank you to everyone who's been here and hanging on. I know it has been difficult, to say the least. I'm working on things behind the scenes, but those things take time. Due to unalive threats and or those threats nearly every day at this point, anyone that does that is a dickhead and you should be off the internet. Seriously, don't do that. I am pulling back a little bit to just not have a meltdown every day. I'm sorry for being inactive and not chatting much. I'm scared every day I wake up and every night when I go to sleep. I've left my house behind trying to hide, and I'm in contact with police officers every day and attorneys. There is a team of Prosper behind me assembling to stop this. But these things take time and they won't be able to happen if something happens to me, unfortunately. And in this day and age, well, you never know what threat is a effed sort of joke and what's real. Online, you can't convey tone without a voice. So if it's in text form, you can never be certain. Shocker, I know. And I'm not really ready to make that gamble with my life. I'm spending a lot of time with electronics in airplane mode and only coming online when I need to be. Otherwise, everything is off. I'm trying what I can to stay sane through insanity. It's clear my public voice holds no weight. So I will take my voice to a level playing field with real-world consequences for the actions people have taken against me. Yes, I want to be transparent, but no one else is allowed to be, because only my voice will matter in this setting. I am scared, I feel incredibly alone and hurt, but things will get better. I will try my best to make it better for everyone. Just thank you all for being here, and thank you for seeing past manufactured drama for other people's financial gain. I hope to see my day of resolve soon. The problem Iilluminaughtii has is all the evidence has been laid bare in the court of public opinion, and they've made their decision. You have chosen to ignore it because you believe yourself better than it. Simply be accountable, because you cannot prove yourself innocent now. I'm sorry, it's too late. You know this. And silence those who have an opinion and a voice and fact and evidence against you, because you believe by taking it to a courtroom, that will solve it. The problem is, the well's been, well, tarnished. It's too acidic now. Your channel is done. The only chance you have is rising from a form of ashes like Death Noodles has, where he has taken the place of Tipster as respected within the commentary community, something which you no doubt think yourself above. Another post from Blair. Hey everyone, sorry for the mass ping, but I was wondering if anyone would be interested in a low-key movie day tomorrow. Oh, you do movie nights? So do I. With top dollar patrons who are watching Hannibal. It's very exciting. Now, someone had inquired about doing a video, making a statement or something. If not, don't worry, I'm a teeny channel because, you know, sometimes it helps to clear the air. Blair said, I'll pass, and I would just let the mess be. It'll be cleared up in time. Now, I do think Blair has a better chance of clearing her name in the court of public opinion if she is actually present. Rather than having all the videos that were on standby uploaded, put out a public statement and apologize. The problem with that is the point of acceptable apology time has expired. It's like a friend zone thing. I generally think anything longer than 72 hours and the apology is no way sincere, carries no weight of, well, meaning, really, beyond that of the insincere and solely done as damage control. Don't forget here, the shitty behavior you only acted upon to silence those that criticized you, the people you hurt, by the way, scorned, by trying to get them out of the equation altogether. You tried to bury their heads in the sand, so you could stand tall and carry on as if nothing happened. As far as I'm concerned, that is remarkably disingenuous, and I don't believe you have anyone around you telling you what you need to hear. So try this. you need to apologize to each of those people and listen to them first. In a public setting, listening to them and understanding the problems you have put them through could well lead to a chance at a future for you on YouTube. Or you bury your head in the sand, wait a couple years and carry on and hope that people come back to you. Or you go to court and embarrass yourself even further. What a novel idea. Especially when you then will undoubtedly try and sue them for defamation and try and get damages out of them, which will make you look even crappier. On that same Discord server, there are some mods defending rather inappropriate behavior towards those that are young. They are fobbing it off as if people are just conspiring to bring down the server with clandestine operations. Okay, CB2 has an entire video on that. It does not paint Iilluminaughtie's Discord in a very good light. If your way of responding to an accusation that people on that server, or some individuals on that server, are acting inappropriate towards those that are quite young, by essentially fobbing it off as trolling, things like that, while you claim you don't condone, are undermined by your essentially fingers in ears la 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 thing.